I be trying not to be ratchet on here, y'all. But it's me again, back with another video. I welcome you back. Thanks for tuning in. So this is going deeper into aspect of my poem that I share with you all. God, the Trinity, me, myself, and I. And I want to go into my perception of who I believe God is. This is me personally, my opinion. This is not to project my beliefs onto anybody else, my truth onto anybody else. Your experience is your experience. My experience is mine. This is just my point of view to share with you all and give you a different perspective and a different light on things. I do not deny who God is, nor do I deny high power. There's a song by Life Jennings called God, and I actually want to play it in the background, so I'll go ahead and I'll turn that on, get that started. And I want to share with you something that I shared on my Facebook maybe 3 months ago. And again, I was going through a transitional period. I still am, as I know of. I also want to go into the healing aspect of things because I do believe that I am in a healing state. And I question a lot internally, and sometimes you receive answers in multiple ways. Like sometimes you'll receive an answer in a voice in your head. Sometimes you'll receive an answer in something you see on the TV. Sometimes you'll see an answer in like talking to somebody. The spirit works through different things. It's just how you best receive it, basically. And yesterday I was watching something, and I know this is something that's very near to my heart. It's something I'm very passionate about as far as healing, because I've been through a lot of things, and that didn't start for me until 3 years ago. The healing process, basically. And she was saying that, some people can take 25 years to heal. Some people can take months to heal. Some people can take, depends on how you receive things, how you move forward in things, where you get your strength from, where you put your energy towards. And she was basically saying that you don't have to make the healing process a whole process. Like it doesn't have to be something you go through your whole life. At some point you have to be healed. At some point you have to move forward. You went through it, accept it, and move on. You know what I'm saying? So as I am here talking about my spiritual journey, right now I am talking about my healing process. After I get through everything and I sort through everything, of course, I'm going to just move on to just sharing information with how I got through it, basically. And again, you're going to see the process the whole time. So this is something that I shared, again, on Facebook. I sent it to my best friend. He told me I should do like a dialogue or something like that. And again, I wasn't thinking about spoken word or anything like that. And this may be another piece, but I'm getting fresh into it. I have not studied anybody. You know how like you get into something and you study it, or you see how people do their own thing, and so I'm just gonna let it flow from me naturally. Let the process be my own process. I don't want to take too much from somebody else and then try and become somebody else. I want this to be my own journey, my own way of getting through things, my own way of coming out of my shell. I don't want to be influenced. I want to be inspired. So it says, I am my significant other, the only significant opinion that matters. I've been with me every day, every minute, every second, through every pain, through every up and down. I know all my darkest secrets. I brought me out of dark places. Only person you owe loyalty to is you. Why do we want to give so much power to outsiders for reassurance or validation? So before I go further into that, I just want to say a lot of us like to look at God as this outside force. We go through things, we say, oh, God did this, God did that. Why did God take me through this? Why did God do that? And from my experience, I'm learning that I did all that to myself. I chose to take myself through certain things through my own choices and my own decisions. I did all of that, as I said. I brought me out of dark places. So God, the God in me, brought me out of dark places by my own understanding, right? My own perception of things. I had to change my perception of things to change the direction of things. And when I say me, I talk about my ego. Basically, I brought my ego out of dark places. Sometimes we get caught up in our body and in our experience that we don't really realize that it's multiple aspects of ourselves. You have your ego, you have your spirit, and then you have God, the I am, the great I am. So it goes into, we're human, of course, but listen to yourself. Because they can only confirm what you choose to believe. I question myself in times where I need clarity. And God sends me reassurance through people. So I receive reassurance through my experience, my perception of what I decide, or my choice of what I decide to take out of things that come to me. Those people are not my God, though. They aren't. I'm going to change that. They are not my God, but they are mirrors of who I am. I don't know if you all know about like mirroring aspects, and like I said in the beginning, projection. You know, sometimes when you look at somebody and you can't stand something that you see on somebody, like 9 times out of 10, that's an aspect of yourself that you haven't really paid attention to. Like, I can't stand liars. I do not like liars. I do not like being deceived. But some part of my shadow self was a liar. Some part of myself at a time before lied, and I basically put myself in a situation that I had to get out of because I lied my way through it. And that part of myself, when I put myself through it, I started not to like it, because I'm like, well, you put yourself through it. So at this point, you can't really, you have to face yourself and other people and look at the deception. Are you deceiving yourself? Are you deceiving yourself, Michaela? I had to ask myself that a lot. Even though I don't intentionally lie to people, or I don't intentionally try and lie to myself to justify things, sometimes I wear a mask. Sometimes I do lie to myself to justify what I'm doing. And I deceive myself. So when I look at somebody and I see that they're deceiving and they're a liar, I'm basically just looking at a part of myself I haven't even accepted. So, when I say they are not my God, I mean that they aren't my God as far as they don't validate things for me. Basically, somebody could be sitting in your face all day, every day, and be telling you the truth about yourself, but unless the I inside of yourself choose to receive it, there's no way in the world God can work through them, right? So I said, not my best friend, not my family, not even someone I'm pursuing. Through the Spirit, God works, which we all are vessels. I love those dearly for their consistent faith in me. God first in everything you do. So put yourself first in everything that you do. If you have faith in yourself, you're going to continue to have people who will show you aspects of yourself and continue to work with you if you choose to work with yourself. So having that faith within yourself is very, very important, because if I didn't have faith in something, or if I had faith in something outside of myself, that could change in any circumstance, in any situation. People fluctuate. The only person you can stand firm and grounded in is yourself. So you have to stay faithful to yourself. I said another lesson I learned: prospering in freedom. I have freed myself from bounding myself to people and validating myself through people. Basically, what I mean by prospering in freedom is I've learned to chew the meat and spit out the bones. Detach the lesson from the person, basically, because let's say my best friend, right? He gives me a lot. I receive a lot from him on an intellectual level, or I did at some point, and I still do, but it's not as much. But I had to learn how to not depend on him so much for his teaching aspects in my life, or the things that he brings to me, because if I only allow myself to attach myself to him and he's not around, where else will I receive those answers if I attach my faith in him? If that doesn't make sense, I hope it does. And I said, God deliver me from me, because I only seem to hurt myself. God deliver me, deliver my ego from my ego. So allow my ego to kill my ego. Allow the part of myself that wants to surrender to my ego. I have to learn how to surrender my ego and die in my ego. So God delivered me from me, because the God, the part of myself that perceives things only seem to hurt me, because based on my understanding and my perception of things, I hurt myself. Because let's say I'm in a situation where somebody is continuing to lie to me, and somebody is again very deceptive, and my ego is telling me, hey, people do that. The God in me is telling me, hey, people do that. Accept it, deal with it, allow it. That's just something that happens in life. That's only a perception. That's only an illusion of things. Because if I learn to love myself enough, and I say I don't do this to people, the good in me doesn't do this to people, so why do I have to accept it from other people? And I only seem to hurt myself. Self is that higher being within yourself, that the higher elevation, the opposite of the ego. The ego, I would say, is a low vibrational person, or can be a low vibrational aspect of yourself or entity of yourself, because the ego will come up with things that will allow you to, like I said, accept things, deal with things based on a false perception of things or a false reality of things. But yourself, your higher self, knows that, hey, that's not right. Something on the inside is, hey, that's not right. Why are you putting yourself through this? Why are you even allowing yourself to be held down at this ego vibration, this low vibration of yourself? Rise above that. You're hurting me by dealing with these things. You're hurting the person on the inside by you're hurting your spirit by dealing with certain things. Stop doing that. So it says, me equals body, conscious, ego. Myself is spirit, subconscious, higher self. I is the mind, the unconscious, the programming, basically. So you have three parts of your brain. You have the conscious part that lives day to day, that takes everything in. That's the gateway to your heaven, your higher self, your subconscious. We don't necessarily have we do have a way of getting to the subconscious and planting certain seeds in the subconscious, but the subconscious is something that operates just on its own. Subconscious operates on its own, but you do have the capabilities through your conscious mind, through your ego, to allow what you plant. in your head. So this is, let's say, I I I have a choice to believe what somebody tells me about myself, basically. Um, so if somebody was to say, "Hey, you look really sick today," and I'd be like, "Well, no, I feel fine." You know, that's my conscious not allowing that to sink into my subconscious. But if somebody says, "Hey, you look a little pale, you look a little sick today," and I'm like, do I? Do I really look like that? And of course, I'm going to start feeling sick because I've allowed that seed to get past that gate in my head. I made a choice for that seed to be planted in my fertile subconscious mind. And then I have the mind, unconscious, the programming, basically. So we all go through a programming in life, by what we decide to take in. Now, this is the unconscious mind. Is basically how you just operate. You just operate like out of habit. You don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because it's something that you've seen, you've accepted, and that's just that. That's just what it is. It has nothing to do with the conscious and the now. This is like probably things that you've went through in life that you've just allowed yourself to accept. This is the God. This is the God-like aspect of yourself that just operates. You know how they say, let go and let God? Well, if you decide to let a situation go, let's say your programming tells you nothing ever works in your favor. Well, that's just how it's going to go. It's never going to work in your favor. So you have control through your subconscious mind what happens on the unconscious level. You get what I'm saying? You have that choice and allowing. So the subconscious is a gate to the unconscious. You know, reprogramming yourself, deprogramming yourself. And I said the Trinity, which is basically, you know, they call the Trinity God. And we all have God within us. We're all godly beings. We're just on the inside. We are gods. We're just in the human flesh, and this is just an experience for us all. But once you lock in and you tune into that godlike, that unconscious, that programming that you have, then you can operate in a way that you actually become the creator. You know, we are made in his image, but it's what you choose to believe. What image have you chose to believe that God is? What image have you chose to believe who Christ is? What image have you chose, or what programming have you allowed to take place on an unconscious level? Because 9 times out of 10, you're distracted by work. You got to pay bills. You got to do this. You got to do that. You're not even taking in or really paying attention to how you're cultivating that unconscious mind, how you're cultivating that godlike aspect of yourself. So I think it's very important. So it says, when we unconsciously make decisions without using our ego's experience as a gateway into heaven, higher self, we move directionless. We leave it to the programming we have been allowing to take place subconsciously in our unconscious. You have a choice of what power you give your thoughts. What is knowledge with no application? Be wise. We are intellectuals. Don't get distracted. So that's just to close out basically what I mean by I wanted to play this song too. I want y'all to go look at this or listen to this song, Gods by Life Jennings. I heard it maybe like 2 years ago, and it like really spoke to me because I just always felt like, why am I here? I know I'm not just here to freaking go to work, pay bills, and live day to day. Like, I know there's more to life than that. And I know that some people are saying to themselves, there's more to life than just going to work and trying to keep up with society or trying to keep up with other people. And when I say that in my poem, I said that love had brought me closer to God. It could never equate to what I had been seeking externally. And it brought me to a higher understanding, a elevated consciousness. Because I have locked in and I'm in tune with that God-like aspect of myself on a conscious level, now my ego is down. Like, my ego has surrendered itself, and not allowing just things to take place, and that's just what it is. You know, I feel like my spirit is taking more control over my everyday life, because now I have these voices in my head. I used to think I was crazy, by the way. I have these voices in my head that talk to me, and when something happens, I'll be like, in my head, like, yo, that's crazy. Like, what is that? Like, why are they acting like that? Or I'll be like, that's not right. Like, nah, that's not the way we not gonna operate like that. You know, you have a choice in taking your own direction, basically. You have a choice in what you allow to happen to yourself. You are a creator. You are the manifester in your life. You have complete control over how you react and what your actions are moving forward in every situation that you're in. So that's just a little aspect of the poem. It's multiple aspects of that poem that I'm gonna get deeper into. But that was very important to me to share with you all. And I posted a picture on my Instagram, and it's a picture of 5 depictions of who God is, which it was a hand that was helping. It was the lake you were falling in. It was the heavens above, and it was you, and it was also, I think, the hand that pushes you. So in every aspect of your life, you have to realize that you are the creator. You are cultivating the kind of life that you live. You push yourself to certain things. You have a choice of taking that step and stepping out on faith and jumping and maybe flying. You are the heavens. You have the mental capacity to either live in heaven or hell. You have the choice, and that's the physical aspect of the God. You have the choices of being the higher heavens or of the earth and hell. You have the choice of pushing yourself further, and you also have the choice of saving yourself when you do. And it's just how you decide to do that and take control of your life, basically. I hope that makes sense. If you all have any questions, leave a comment below. If some of this don't make sense, I promise you I'll try my best to make it make sense. But again, this is my journey. This is my experience. This is my understanding. This is my perception. I have went deep within myself and tried to understand exactly everything that I've been through. I've tried to, and just testing myself as well, like challenging these aspects that have been brought to me from my higher self. Higher self tells me, hey, Michaela, push yourself. And I say, okay, well, I'll push myself. I'll see where it goes. And then I have a choice of either falling and failing and sitting there in a sunken place, or I have a choice of saving myself. This is an experience that I've had, and I've experienced both ends of it. I have experienced living in a higher state of mind, in a paradise. No matter what goes on around me, I can choose to decide if something is working for my good or if it's working against me. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on my perception of that situation and what I want to take from it. Do I want to be the victim, or do I want to be a victor? And I'll go into the victim and the victor mentality as well, because that's something else I spoke on in the poem. But that poem was just really, when I say everything that I've been experiencing throughout my journey, like, that was literally my coming out poem. So again, I hope you guys understand it. If you do have any questions, please comment below. We can go into a further discussion about it. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Yeah. Deuces. I don't know how to close out my videos. I feel like I'm going to do something cute. Like, I don't I don't know. I'm goofy, y'all. But yeah. See y'all later.